As some of you will have seen, I've been using my van for transporting bikes, and this was something I picked up about 7 years ago, something like that, this transporter. It's a T28 TDI Highline with the 2 litre bi-turbo engine in it, which isn't necessarily the best engine. Well, it definitely isn't the best engine. It has a few issues with EGR and things like that, which I'll explain a little bit later. But I wanted to show you kind of the dilemma I had at the time, which is when you start taking measurements and things like that and thinking, will a bike fit in the back of a particular type of van? Well, yes, it will fit in most of these. This is a short wheelbase VW. And what I needed it for was, could I set it up as a day or camper van to be tripping around Europe and also get a bike in the back? So we'll take a look at what I've done inside and give you an idea of what the setup is and how easy it is to kind of set up to transport bikes. So as you can see, I went for the barn door version. It was kind of evens on whether it was up and over or barn door, but went for the barn door in the end. And this one, quite smart black with Wolf Race wheels on it. And I also went for the Auto DSG as well, mainly because sitting in traffic is so much easier just to sit there with an auto. Probably not the best choice, but there's not as many of them around either. But this version is also the 2 litre bi-turbo. So it's not the favoured engine. It's not a brilliant engine from VW, so I probably made the wrong choice on that one. But it puts out supposedly 180 horsepower. But it does have a lot of EGR valve problems. I bought this one with 55,000 miles on the clock. It's a 2013 model, which I've had for a good 6 or 7 years now. I have had to replace the whole EGR on it. It started coming up with a few warning lights and things like that on the diesel particulate, and also I wasn't trusting that the existing EGR wasn't going to start eating itself, as it happens with these. So I swapped that out, which was a mammoth task with these, but got there in the end. And yeah, quite happy with the result. That I think I've got at least a maybe stable engine. It doesn't seem to be burning oil, and we're now up at about 99,000, I think. Yeah, on the clock. So in the back, right, so what I've done inside is built a box unit over to the right hand side here, which primarily was built to, or shaped around housing a bike ramp, which fits in under here. I'll put up some pictures in a sec of me getting some of the bikes in and out with that ramp. It's literally just set up against the back of the van here, little tie strap around the peg for the door closer. But that fits underneath. Above that, I've got a slide in and out cooking unit, and then over to the right, little storage area for oil and such like. I've got a small table velcroed to the side of this, and then this is only on the top of this is only 6mm plywood, but basically that gives me a bed. And as you can see at the end there, I've got my mattress, fold-up mattress, pillows, sheets, things like that, and underneath here I've got sleeping bags. But that side lifts up, and then underneath I've got cooking equipment. There's a little heater, odd tools, tarpauling, odds and sods, and still some more space in there to use up. Under the front section, what I've put in, same arrangement of the lift up panel. I've got over here the sleeping bags, tools set around the back of it, but this is a fridge which can go down low enough to be a freezer as well. So a box fridge like that sits in there. That is wired up to some ports that I've put into a leisure battery, which is now down here underneath the boxing of the passenger seat. So we've got three adapters in there. Two of those on the left hand side are cigarette lighter type adapters. The one on the right is two USB ports. The USB ports in this seem to, in front of this vehicle, seem not to be capable of keeping a phone charge while you're using sat nav and things like that. So those are 2.5 amp each at least in that right hand port, wired into the leisure battery, as I said, which sits underneath that box unit there. The main reason why I got this van, one, it was fitted out inside quite well with this whole rubber flooring, which is a VW option, but it's got the 6 tie down ports, one in each corner and one in the middle over here. Now in the middle one, what I've done is just put a piece of wood around it as well, because that tends to be roughly where the side stand of a motorbike sits. And then I've also got an extra piece of wood, should I need it, to kind of prop the bike up a little bit taller. Some bikes lean over a little bit too far, but stick that under it, props it up a little bit more. So the box unit that I've put in, so I'll pan back round. So over here, doesn't go right to the front. So what we've got in just that in here is another one of the tie downs. It's a bit dark down there. So I've got, as you should see, one strap that's kind of permanently fixed to that. I'll show you that in a sec. So this one here is permanently fixed to that tie down in there. So when we wheel a bike in, very roughly the handlebars will be where my hand is now. And you can tie down with a ratchet up to that, down, back down to that, either that one in the corner down there, or across to this one to secure the front of the bike on its side stand into the kind of wheel into the corner there. But the rear, let's move the bag. This has got my ratchet straps in it. In the rear over here, we've got another tie down, and there's one just in the corner as well over the other side that isn't obscured by the boxing. So you can equally put ratchet straps to your subframe or rear wheel of the bike sat in this side of the van. So there's ample space. My worries when I first was looking at these was, will you fit the length of a bike in a short wheelbase? Which you can, obviously. Didn't need to go to a long wheelbase to do that. And I've never had the need for a long wheelbase. I've fitted some quite long bikes into this. There's Moto Guzzi 1000S. Had a BMW in here, but the BMW is an old R100 RS. I did have to take the screen off. So you don't actually have the full height in here. This, I think, is only 54 inches tall, or a bit less. The BMW is a good 56, 57 inches tall at the top of the screen. So I had to take the screen off for that. It's kind of a standard 2-window van in the rear. As you can see from this side, it's a single sliding door left-hand side, which gives you access to do your ratchet straps on this side, and hence I leave this one permanently in. You just reach over the bars, strap it down, done. As far as some of the electrical stuff goes, in the rear, just above the rear door, I've got an LED light wired in. This one is wired into the doors, so this will come on whenever a door is opened, and it's on a timer as well, which is kind of the standard lighting arrangement for the rear of transporters. It takes, I think it's about 4 or 5 minutes or something about that. But I've also got this one switched as well, so I can have it so it doesn't come on. But that's just ideal for open the door, and it's really bright, enough light to see through the whole van. But what I've also got in the roof of this, and set up a switch over here just inside the sliding door there, I've got extra lighting. Let's just switch that rear one off. I've got extra lighting in the roof of this. 4 of those, can't quite get to the others. There we go, round there somewhere. There you go. 4 of those in the roof for whenever you're in the van, as using it as a camper and things like that. They're not too bright, kind of subdued, because you don't really want too bright. People will spot you. Yeah. Oh look, somebody's living in that van. So electrically wise, I haven't done masses apart from fit the leisure battery, as I said, down in below here. I've fed the ceiling lights off of that and tapped the rear light in there at the back of it to the door openers. Interior as well, what I've also done behind all of these panels and also the roof, I've put the insulation, the sticky silverized insulator against all of the panels, and then also lined all the gaps with a sheep's wool based insulator, which cuts down on condensation on cold days. I haven't done the front cab. It's the only part that hasn't been insulated. The rest of it has been. I'm looking to put a rail across here and a kind of drop down curtain or screens or whatever to try and block that off. I just didn't want to get into taking all that cab apart, but I had it mostly apart while I was doing the boxing and rest of other electrics and things like that in here. So that's the simple stuff that I've done in here, just to make this a usable bike transporter and also travel around Europe van. And I've been everywhere in this. I've had it stuffed with motorbikes and at the same time my skis, a push bike, walking boots for a long trip away, and it's been fine. So it's been set up like this for about 5 years now. I hadn't intended keeping this boxing for that length of time. It was really temporary to see if it all worked, and then I was going to build it out of something a bit better, but I haven't needed to. So, but it stands of its own, and it's only held in place by 2 screws. There's one just behind here on the main rail that runs underneath that lift up panel, and another one about halfway along the second section there. So you can just 2 screws out and they're just into the ply walls. 2 screws out and the whole thing can come out and get it back into a load carrying space for anything larger should you need to. But yeah, that's the setup that I've got. A couple of extra additions is just the netting on the rear doors. I think I'll get a couple more of those and put them on the side panels on the inside. And one other thing that I've done over this side, underneath the hooks for this, I've got a little drop down table, which if it's peeing with rain outside, I can actually cook and whatever on there if there's no motorbike in there. But apart from that, that's kind of it with the mods. But as I said, it was something I needed the space in order to fit bikes in. I've got a lot of classic bikes as well. Didn't really want to get stuck out in the middle of nowhere with one broken down or having to call breakdown services. So at least if you do break down on a classic, go and knock on a door somewhere and say, can I leave this here till I can get home and get my van? Which I haven't had to do yet. But yeah, it gives you the option to at least have your own transport for a bike rather than be stuck out in the middle of nowhere. So that's it. If you like that setup, a comment, got any questions also, please subscribe and look out for the next bike videos. I think I'm going to be working on the XL125 that I've put to one side for a little bit, which is going to be quite a challenge. It needs a lot of cleaning and a lot of work, but see you soon.